Now, Equal Education is rejecting the nomination of Zizi Kodwa to serve as a member of the Portfolio Committee on Basic Education. Kodwa, as we know, is out on bail on corruption charges involving alleged kickbacks he received from EOH chairperson or EOH head. I'm not sure of his exact title right now, Johan McKay, but that was amounting to around 1.7 million rand allegedly. Equal Education researcher Kimberley Khumalo joins us now for more on this conversation. And in fact, Kimberley, Equal Education has written to the ANC's chief whip calling for the removal of Kodwa from this portfolio committee.
Yes, good afternoon and good afternoon to the viewers at home. So Equal Education, we strongly condemn the nomination of corruption accused Zizi Kodwa as a member of parliament, but also specifically as a member of the Portfolio Committee on Basic Education, like you were saying. Yesterday, we wrote to the ANC Chief Whip to really explain what exactly it is that we're concerned about and to call on the party to withdraw him from this Portfolio Committee, but also start the necessary processes to, remove him as a member of parliament entirely.
Okay, I don't want to assume anything. Do you want to tell us why Equal Education is objecting so strongly to Kodwa's appointment to this portfolio committee?
Yes. So we recently saw in our most recent election that voters across the board are quite frustrated and have grown intolerant of the amount of corruption that we've seen by the ANC-led government for at least the last 2 decades. And we saw a significantly reduced majority for the ANC as a result of this intolerance. So the public really, what we're seeing, wants to ensure that South Africa's leadership is at the very least has integrity. And when we take this into account, it would be an indictment on the ANC to overlook the significant scandal that has spoiled Kodwa's career. He is currently facing serious corruption charges, and they raise grave concerns about the suitability of Kodwa for this role in Parliament, but also in the Basic Education Committee. And the role does require ethical governance and the highest level of integrity as outlined in Parliament's own Code of Ethical Conduct.
Right, and let's not forget the important job that the portfolio committees of Parliament do insofar as scrutinising the ministry's plans for budgets and spending, overseeing that the appropriate spending goes where it needs to go. It will be a sad irony, even though these are allegations that Zizi Kodwa faces at this stage, and I imagine that might be part of what the response might be to this call by Equal Education, that these are allegations and that he has not been found guilty of anything. What would be Equal Education's response to that?
And we acknowledge that it's an allegation and hasn't been found guilty of anything. But when MPs are shrouded with a record of controversial behavior, it only shakes public confidence in Parliament itself, but also it taints the integrity of the institution. And these are our lawmakers. They cannot break the law or be seen to even or be perceived to breaking the law. And in the context of the Government of National Unity, where the Minister of Basic Education is deployed by the Democratic Alliance, the ANC holds a significant oversight responsibility in the national legislature. So individuals have to seriously have a certain amount of integrity and be untainted in order to be able to provide this oversight.
Yeah, and perception is everything, isn't it? I see in Equal Education's statement, you've also gone as far as to say that many of the committee's members, in fact, including the chairperson, are new to this portfolio. They are new to the Education Committee. Zizi Kodwa will join as a relatively senior member of government, won't he? Do you feel that that might impact the committee and how it takes decisions somehow?
Yes, like you said, many of the committee members are quite new to Parliament as a whole, but also the Education Committee itself. Kodwa has been a minister, so he has some level of seniority, and this coupled with his tainted record risks the fact that he might assert some of the negative influence that he has or he's perceived to have to the committee. The committee chair is also quite young, and we are very excited about having young leadership because we are a youth lead. youth-led movement, but we do understand that power dynamics might shift because he has a lot more experience in this space.
Yeah, a youth-led movement, and I suppose one also wonders, Kimberley, what kind of message we will be sending to our young people, to the young people who are in leadership positions, for example, in equal education, perhaps even to our school children who are in matric and in the higher grades. What kind of message will we be sending to them in a context where they have a lot more information at their fingertips than they would have maybe 20 years ago?
Yes, that's exactly it. And our expectation from the ANC in particular is that they would try and avoid this after what happened in the election. And having put in place a resolution called the Step Aside Resolution, we believe that the reason behind this resolution is to really tackle corruption and maintain the integrity of the party. And in this case, we are seeing that it's not achieving that objective. And instead, we are seeing people that are aligned or accused of corruption still being representative and walking into really leadership roles in the country, even though he's not leading the commission of the committee or specifically a government department. This is still very much a leadership role in that he's being nominated as a lawmaker. Mm-hmm. So it's quite important to have absolutely leaders that have come into the space on a clean slate and don't have anything like this attached to them for young people to look at and understand that their laws would really be pushed by people who have that level of integrity.
Yeah, absolutely. Equal education researcher Kimberley Khumalo, let me thank you for your time this afternoon.